Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to submit your application from Xcode to the iOS application store. Now you will need the $100 purchase of your iOS developer account so you can submit these applications, but this tutorial will show you how to get it done. So you will know beforehand if you're thinking of buying a developer license, or if you haven't already, this is how it's done. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's build this application. We just need to open up Xcode and create a new Xcode project. This will apply to any application that you will use. I mean, unless you build like Cocos or if you build like a framework, that doesn't work. But for applications, right over here, you will have a master detail. You can use any of those and it will work the same exact way for uploading any application. I will have this as my single view application. Now I'm going to take you through the whole process. I'm doing the whole bare bones. I don't have any files, so this is how it is done. So product name, I'm just going to call this upload test. Now keep in mind that your product name is one word in this sense, especially this sense because you want to upload it, and your bundle identifier is very important to keep intact. And if you have two words, it might get a little bit more confusing to actually upload your application to the iOS App Store. Our organization name, this will also change our bundle identifier. My organization name is Architap, or if you were Flibber, I don't know, random word I created off my head. So your organization name, this is exactly what you want, Architap, and this organization identifier changes this right here. So it can be Flibber or it can be Architap, whatever you want it to be. And our language will be set to Swift, although this will apply for Objective-C. And our devices will be set to iPhone, although this can be used universally as well. Click Next and Create. And now that we have our application, let's go over to our main.storyboard. Now this actually doesn't need to be done. Let's do it anyway. We're going to add a label, make our app a little bit interesting, showing you that if you have any objects inside of your application, this is how it would be done. Now we have our label. I'm just going to make this a simple hello world application like so. Just going to be a text on the scene. I'm centering horizontally and centering vertically in the container like so. And now if we were to build and run our application, we will get hello world in our centered screen. Now of course you wouldn't upload this to the App Store because it wouldn't be accepted. So let's just upload this app to the App Store. Let's go over to Safari or whatever web browser you use and go over to developer.apple.com, and we're going to create our app ID. So go over here to your member center, sign in, and we're going to go over to our certificates, identifiers, and whatnot. Go over to your identifiers and we're going to create a new app ID. Our app ID name will be right up here. Our name, let's just call this upload test. This doesn't matter, but right down here, you want to be sure that your bundle identifier matches the exact same bundle identifier that we had at the beginning. And you can find this just right over here in your upload test. You will see this right up here when you click on this and go to your targets right here. You will have your bundle identifier, architap.uploadTest. So let's just write that in, architap.uploadTest. Now it's very important that these are the same, because if you do not get this the same or perfect, it will not work properly and your application will not upload, or you'll have to be able to you will have to change things from inside this application itself, which can create errors along the way. So we don't want to deal with that. And then we don't want to enable any services, although if you're using this on any application such as HealthKit or anything, this is where you would do it. Continue and submit. So we're submitting our app ID. We're going to click done, and now we have all of our app IDs, and we're just going to find the one that we just created. Here it is, architap.uploadTest, and there it is. So now if we were to go to iTunes Connect, so we can go to iTunes Connect.apple.com. I will also have all these links down in the description down below if you don't know what I'm talking about. So itunesconnect.apple.com, and you should get a thing that says log in. I'm already logged in, so that's why am I here. And we go to My Apps. Now we create a new application, new iOS app. So click on this plus button right up here and say New iOS App. The name of this, we shall call this Upload Test. A very exciting name. Our primary language, this is going to be just English. Now I just tried finding the bundle ID, so if it didn't show up the first time, just click cancel, and then again add your application, and it should pop up the next time, as it just did for me. You just need to wait a little bit for these servers to connect to each other. So our name again is Upload Test. Upload Test. And again, this name actually doesn't need to match whatever you have this named, so there can be spaces, there can be other things. And our language we will have as English. Version, this will be version 1.0. And SKU number, this is actually just a random thing that pops into your head, really. This is something that you would do yourself. Your SKU number, if you look on this question mark right here, it says a unique ID for your app that is not visible on the App Store. So right here, if you were to, my unique ID would easily just be upload.0.0.1, showing that this is my upload test application .0.1, the first version of this. Now let's create it. Okay, it looks like this application name has already been used, so let's just say upload test. Now if that's been used, that would be very surprising. And now we have all of these. So first thing that they typically like you to deal with are all of your video previews and your screenshots right here. Now you don't need a video preview, but you do need screenshots in order to continue on forward into making your application. So let's go ahead, grab some screenshots. So let's go into our application, build and run this. This is with an iPhone 6. So let's just Command S to save our screenshot, and we'll just hide it. And now we have that right here. I wasn't trying to hide Safari. Silly Safari. All right, now let's just click and drag our iOS simulator application photo that we just took. And this is with a 4.7-inch iPhone, so there you have it. Now you just need one screenshot of each to continue on, but you can add more after this process is done. So let's go to 5.5-inch iPhone, and we can do this by going back to Xcode, changing this to iPhone 6 Plus, and building and running. Now that our application's loaded up, just click Command S again. So click Command S again to save our image that we just took, and let's click and drag that into our screenshots and preview folder inside of our version information. Now let's go into our 4-inch, and we will need that. Just go into Xcode, and we're gonna say iPhone 5S, build and run that, and there you have it. Now again, Command S. And it looks like this is just created right there. And let's click and drag that into our 4-inch screenshots and previews. And then lastly, we need to go to Xcode one last time and upload for an iPhone 4S. Because for some reason they're still selling those, right? So there we have it, our iPhone 4S. And we can hit Command S right after it is done loading up. Now you do not need an iPad screenshot to actually upload your application, but I will show it to you anyway. You either need an iPhone screenshot or an iPad screenshot in order to upload your, like all of these iPhone screenshots, or just one iPad screenshot in order for your application to be loaded up to the App Store. We have our iPad 2s, now we have that screenshot, and we could just upload that right into here. And there you have it. Now we have all our screenshots loaded up. Our name, we're just going to call this, yeah, sure, upload, yeah. And then our description, this is the most amazing app in the world. It will make you rich. Richer than anyone else in the world. Alright, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little crazy. In the world. Alright, there we are. Keywords, this is like tags. So what would people search for? We can just say upload, comma, test, comma, yeah, comma, amazing, comma, rich. You get the idea. Support URL, this will be typically your website. If you do not have a website, you can also hook up Facebook, but I have a website, so I'm going to type that in. http://www.architap.com. Go check it out. Just kidding. Architap.com. Our marketing URL, again, we can just actually put that exactly in there, and our privacy policy URL will be the exact same thing as well. Alright, so now we need an app icon, and to do this we just go over to Pixelmator and create a new image. Now this would also work with Photoshop and other programs, other editing programs that you would like, but this needs to be a 1024 by 1024 a square image. Pixels, 1024 by 1024 pixels square image. That's what it's supposed to be, or else it will not upload properly. And you can also find that out by just clicking on this question mark up here. Anyway, I guess you couldn't figure it out. Sorry. Alright, now let's add some text onto our scene by just adding some text in Pixelmator or Photoshop and whatever you do. Again, this is your own application. I'm just going to make mine quick and simple. It's just going to be a simple hello world in the middle of our application scene. Now go File, Export, and we're going to make this a PNG, JPEG, or whatever you would like to use. I think they typically like you to use JPEG or PNG, and I think you can actually check over here. JPEG or PNG format. So it must be in that format. And then click Next. And I'm just going to call this Hello World. Create. And now we have our image created. And let's choose the file and put that right into our Hello World application. So now just put that right in there, and now we have our app icon loaded up and ready. Our copyright, this will actually be more like your business name. It's, it's a copyright. It's saying that you own this application and the rights to this application. So your copyright, this will just be Architap, or whatever business name or name you like to use. We're not going to worry about trade representative contact information. Down here, this will be your apartment address, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to fill out my apartment address or anything, so I'll just type random things in there. City, state, I'll keep that in there. Postal code, random postal code, United States, phone number, just there. If that's enough. Yeah, that was actually perfect. Or there. Email, architap@gmail.com. So we filled out all our information. Now let's, this is optional, but if you have a routing app coverage file, which is to specify geographic region supported by your app, this will use GeoJSON data, so you can actually say we're using maps inside of your application. If you have a .geojson file, you would need to upload a routing app coverage file. We won't worry about this. Category, we will make this books, and our secondary category, we can make this food and drink. And I think we can save it from here and actually try uploading our information. Oh, no. Right down here is our app review information. So again, Jared Davidson. They're going to review this application as soon as your application is uploaded. Phone number, good. Email, argadap@gmail.com. Demo account. Now this is basically the account that you would use to, say, buy in-app purchases. So if you have a demo account and you want to test if your in-app purchases are working properly, but you don't want to get charged for it, this is where you would create it. So I will just enter a demo account. There we are, demo account. And version release, automatically release this version, or manually release it, whatever you want to do. Now save this, and we should see if there's any errors in whatever we've uploaded. So it's reviewing everything, and now we can actually upload our application. So I forgot to do a rating, so this will actually be like, who is this application for? Is it for 4-year-olds or is it for 17+-year-olds? So down here, I'm just gonna click none since this isn't gonna harm any of us. And made for kids is its own specific thing, so you can actually make it your application made for kids, and you get put into a specific bracket of applications. I'm not going to select it because it takes a little bit more. Now click done. All right, now we actually need to submit our build application, so our application that we actually have from Xcode, and we need to upload that to the App Store. So let's do so by just going Product and Archive. Now the way you archive, it's not selectable right now, but you can get around this just by going up here and selecting iOS device. And then you can go Product, Archive, and now it's archiving your whole project and putting that in a thing that can actually be put inside of your iTunes Connect folder where it says build. Now we have our build succeeded, so we can actually look at that right now. And now that our build is succeeded, let's submit. Or actually, we want to validate, make sure everything's correct right now. So be sure that everything is correct, preparing signing. We don't have a provisioning profile to actually submit our application, which I forgot to do. So let's go ahead and do that. Now go up here and we're going to add a new tab, and this is going to our developer.apple.com. Actually, we can just go back to our iOS app IDs right over here and go to provisioning profiles. Now we go to distribution. So we want to distribute this application that we just created, and we want to add this. So this will be, so go over to distribution and we're going to click the plus sign. This is going over to the App Store, continue. Our app ID, we're going to select the app ID that we just created. This will be upload test right down here, continue. And this will be Jared Davidson iOS distribution, continue. Our profile name, I am just going to call this upload test, generate. And now we have this provisioning profile. So now download this provisioning profile and double click on it. And this is going to open it up inside of our application. So now if we were to click validate, this should work. So now we actually have our .ipa, which means that we can actually upload this now to the App Store. So let's validate this real quick and make sure everything is working fine. There's no errors. Oh, and I also forgot to add our icon inside of our application on Xcode. So let's go ahead and do so. All right, now so to upload these app icons into our application, let's go over to our images.xc assets. And right now it's actually empty. So let's go over to our upload test. And yours might not be empty, but mine was. So go over here to your app icon source right here, inside of your upload test general. And you go down here to app icons and launch images. You go to app icon source, and we're going to use asset catalogs. So we're going to say use asset catalog, and we're going to migrate to our asset catalog that we just have right there. Or you can create a new asset catalog. We're going to move that, we're going to migrate into our images.xc assets, and then go over to your app icon that it just created. Now, you might look at this and say, well, I don't have any of these images. I don't want to create a 29 point, 40 point, 60 point image. So, yes, I understand. That is totally understandable. And there's applications on the Mac App Store that actually make this so much simpler. So I have my 1024 by 1024 app icon that I created, and we're gonna just go over to Prepo. Now this is an application that I have that you can download off of the Mac App Store. I believe it's free, so you can just easily click and drag our Hello World image inside of Prepo, and then it creates all of these icon images for you. So it's very simple, very nice, and you can actually add some shine to it if you want. I'm not going to. So, like so. It's very simple and easy, and I love it. So now let's export, and we're going to export this to our desktop. And we're going to create a new folder, and we'll just call this folder Images, Icons, and create, and choose. So now we're exporting to this Images, Icons folder that we just created right over here. And now we have all of these images right here. Now, you might be looking at that and being like, what? I don't want to mess with all that. So let's go ahead and just put these application icons right inside of our application. So you just take all of these and just put that right in there. And now you have everything pretty much. So now if we were actually, it actually created it for you because it knows that it's supposed to be this certain size in order for it to be an iPhone Spotlight or an iPhone settings or anything. So Xcode is very nice in solving that out already for you. So now if we were to actually take these, and there were 2 unassigned, that's what I just deleted. So now if we were to build and run this actually on our, we'll build and run this on our iPhone 6. It looks like our build failed. Let's go over to our asset catalog and see why. Oh, we don't have a launch image. So let's go over here to our upload test, and we're gonna go over to our launch images source, and we're gonna click on don't use asset catalog and then say use asset catalog. Very confusing. I don't know why they programmed it like that. But now if we go to our images.xc assets, now we have our launch image right here. And we can keep these actually blank because our launch image is actually our launch screen.zip file. It just needed an image for it to work for some weird reason. So now we have our images all uploaded. And if we were to go home, Command-Shift-H, you would actually see that now we have our app icon in right there. And now let's go over to our, let's go go over to Xcode and change your iOS device to iOS device. And then we're going to product, archive, and then it's going to archive it right over here inside of your organizer-archives. So now we have our archive all uploaded, and we can validate this. We're going to choose Jared Davidson as your person. Alright, now our validation was successful, so now let's click done. And that was a long waiting time. Now let's submit the application to the App Store. We're going to use our iOS development team, Jared Davidson, choose. And we're going to submit our application to the App Store. And now it's going to upload the archive to iTunes Connect, create an API and everything for it, and we will wait. Alright, now our submission was successful, so yes, let's go over to iTunes Connect, and now if we were to save, it should reload and should have a build that we have. Alright, and it looked like I just needed to reload my page on iTunes Connect in order for it to actually see that we did submit our app. So let's go ahead and say click plus to submit your application, and there you will see that your build is created, and you can just select that and done. So now we have our build inside of our application, and we can save that. And it does not support iPad, so that's perfectly fine for whatever we're using. And then you can just submit for review. So there are one or more errors on the page. Not seeing any more errors. Let's go over to pricing. Oh, that's right. We needed to set a price tier, and we're going to make it available by today. Our price tier, free, and save. Now, that should be it, and yep, there you are. So now we have our changes all saved. Now we have our pricing. It is a free application. Obviously, this isn't gonna be a real application on the App Store, so that is perfectly fine by me. And then click cancel, and we're gonna go back to our application on iTunes Connect. And now let's figure out why this isn't submitting for review. Oh, there we have it. So we have our submit for review. Export compliance. Is your app designed using cryptography or any of that? No. Content rights. Does your app contain display or third-party access content? No. Does this app use an advertising, anything like that? No, it does not. So we can easily just submit it. And there you have it. Now our application is submitted, and you will see that it is waiting for review. Now, after that, you will have go through some different processes. It'll be waiting for a review, preparing for the review, going in review, and then it's also going to be either accepted or rejected. So there you have it. That is how you upload your application with Xcode and iTunes. That's it for this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more tutorials like this from me in the future, be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.